Welcome to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len. I'm the Drunk Linux User. And today I'm going to talk about something I use to make my videos. It's called Obs-Studio. And on my other monitor, which on my side of the world is over here, I have the window open so I can kind of make sure that, like, oh, yes, I'm recording good and I'm still in the frame. Excellent. OBS went through a series of updates just recently, and they upgraded to 28 dot, and I'm not exactly sure, dot 1.2. And I've been noticing not only myself, but several other people having difficulties with Obs-Studio, the new iteration of it. And so I tried my level best to see if I could find another way to get an older version. And though there are, and I'll show you just a moment where you can get those, it's not really all that great. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So we'll get over to this screen here. This is the website for Obs-Studio, Windows, Mac, and Linux. It's superb software. It really is. If you want to do some screen recording, do streaming, things like that, this is the go-to. But it still seems like there's some problems here and there that people are having with it. And if you go to the forums, you'll see that there's, quite a few questions about video cards and multiple instances and just a lot of different things going on. And if you also take a look at Reddit, there is a long list of people running into issues. And these are very, very recent postings, by the way, even though they say on Reddit, please use the forums for your problems. A lot of times the information that you'll get to fix the problems may come a little bit, I'm not sure, but it seems to come pretty quickly from OBS on Reddit. So taking this into account and noticing that I was having problems as well, I wanted to go backwards. But when you go backwards in most distributions, you can't. For some reason, you're still looking at the 28 dot whatever series in most distributions. I believe that you can get an older version in Ubuntu by using a snap install. I'm not all that thrilled with snaps. That's just not my thing. I'm on Linux Mint. About ready to do it again. Linux Mint. I'm using XFCE. And when I take a look at trying to install a Debian-based way of doing this, by the way, I can't find it in Arch either. I really can't. But you do have an opportunity if you click through Linux and previous releases, you'll come to this page. Well, actually what you need to do is go to page 2, which is where I'm at right here. And then it explains all the fixes that they had for the 27 series, the most recent one. And I would go to assets and I would click Impish, right? And I would download it. And I kept running into dependency errors all the time. I was using GW, I was trying to use the software manager on different software and different Debian-based systems. Again, I couldn't find a way to do this in Arch. I tried to install using source code and it went nowhere. I'm not claiming to know all the answers on all these things. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but when you're trying to get something set up and running, this is not necessarily always the way you want to go, or is it? You want to have something quick, down and dirty. Well, in the quick, down and dirty version, if you take a look at the software manager in Linux Mint, and this time I said it right, hey, you can see I've got one already installed, but there's 2 versions available. Now this one right here is the 28.1.2 that's in Flatpak. And it does have, I'm telling you, 28's got some really cool features. It really, really does. And but I just have certain problems with it. I have problems with video stutter. I have problems with the audio sometimes not syncing up. And I'm thinking that a lot of my problems are maybe along the lines that some other people are experiencing as well. We don't have, necessarily stock systems. I've got an NVIDIA card. I've got, an i7. I've got, different things I'm running. So it's very possible that I'm just having problems because of my hardware features. It's a good possibility. In this version of OBS Studio, however, you can get the 27.2.3 and install. It's what I'm using right now. Works like a charm. So it's in the Linux Mint repositories and it's installable. You can download deb files for earlier versions of Ubuntu's, but if you're trying to use the most recent version of Ubuntu, I think you're pretty stuck with 28 series if you're having problems. I've never had a problem with the 27 series. I wish it did have a couple of the features that 28 does, but there we go. OBS downgrade in a nutshell. So that's it. That's it for today. I'm just going to call it quits and end with our words of wisdom. Don't drive drunk. Don't drink and drive. Don't go to Amazon, eBay, or use MSN shopping all buzzed up thinking you're going to buy the latest, greatest, and coolest stuff, because you're probably not. And in the meantime, bottoms up. Later, dudes.